another episode of Local Focus here from our downtown Albuquerque studio. And I don't know if you've noticed by our recent lineup of guests, but I'm ready for basketball season here. By the time this airs, I believe we'll be heading towards the football playoffs. But I'm done with that. I'm over it already. I've had basketball guests on, and we'll continue that trend in a moment. I want to remind everyone to go to ProviewNetworks.com for our live schedule of events to check out any football and then basketball when the basketball season starts. But a commitment I made earlier in the year was to keep you up to date on some of my old guests and some of our local talent, so I want to do that now. El Dorado's Noah Schweitzer was just named a Player of the Week over at Eastern. And how about my guy Jordan Bird and Keyshawn Banks? They're doing some damage right now at San Diego State. Jordan's moved up on the depth chart. Starting running back there had an injury problem with the knee, so he's moved up. No red shirt for Jordan, definitely no red shirt for Keyshawn. He's putting the work in every weekend. By the time this airs, it might be the weekend that the Lobos play San Diego State, so it'll be good to catch up with some of those guys. And then if you have any news on any of our previous guests, you can always send it to us at Proview TV or at Sebastian Noel 47, and we'd love any show ideas or any guest ideas. Today we branch out of the metro area just a little bit for my guest, JB White of the Santa Fe Demons. Thank you so much for coming in.
Of course, thank you.
We've been trying to set this up for a while now, and we'll get to a lot of the recruiting stuff, which is obviously what has you in the news as of late. Is first the UNM interest, and now Coach K. I call him Coach K because I'm a Pac-12 guy, so I don't even know who that other Coach K is. I call Coach Kristoviak Coach K. Utah, the Utes, and we'll get to some of that later. But first of all, let's talk about a young JB White. First of all, where did that name come from? I did some research, and it stands for Junebug, right? There's got to be a story for that.
All right, well, yeah, once I moved here, and I was going to play with Santa Fe style and stuff, and I remember the kids would always call me like Junebug and stuff, and then I remember once I played, like I had left style and played for FBA, I met my friend Shy, and he was like, Junebug, no, that's way too long. He's like, I'm gonna call you JB, and I was like, all right. So ever since then, I feel like everybody's just been calling me that. And
it's stuck, right? So let's go back to your childhood. First of all, talk about maybe your upbringing for those of us that don't know it.
Well, I moved here probably second grade, I think, and I was living with my mom for a while, and then probably about until sixth grade, like she like overdosed and stuff, and then I moved with my grandma, and then after my mom overdosed, I feel like I was just like different, and like I don't know, I feel like I just matured more, and I just needed basketball in my life, or like something just to like make me happy.
So when a life-altering event like that takes place, do you almost have to mature quicker? Because that's something that not a lot of guys have to process. And obviously you realized right away you needed something like basketball in your life. So does something like that really make you mature quicker?
Yeah, I feel like so, because I don't know, like after seeing that happen and stuff, it just like everything's so much different. Like you just see kids like so happy, and like, I don't know. Like,
how do you think that's helped you stay on the path to, obviously I know how much work you put in for basketball. How has that life-altering event kind of kept you on the straight and narrow and kept you so focused on hoops?
My grandma, I feel like, because she does a lot for me, and she like pays for a lot of stuff for me, and like, I don't know, I just want to see her happy, and I just want to make it so I just don't have to ever see her work again.
Right, so obviously, when did that love of basketball really start? Did it start that early in your life?
Yeah, I think it started like the day I moved in with my grandma. Because I feel like I always wanted to play football, but I don't know, like after I just got tall and stuff. Yeah.
You got tall, because you got 6'10" wingspan. That's crazy wingspan, right? That is. First of all, when did that growth spurt happen?
Probably going into my freshman year.
And so how good, okay, I'm going to ask you this, and you can say, hey, I was always good. But how good were you before you hit that growth spurt, and then obviously after you just turned into this beast, right? But how good were you when you were just one of the average height guys?
I was still pretty good. I felt like I just like couldn't like get up as much, but I was about the same.
And then you hit the growth spurt.
And then that's
like,
when,
yeah. Right?
And then that's when the dunking came and stuff, yeah.
All right, so I watched a Pelicans game the other night and for Anthony Davis, and they said the key to Anthony Davis' success really was he kind of had your timeline. So he didn't hit that growth spurt till real late. So he was able to develop as a ball handler and as a guard, and then he got the growth spurt, and voila. Is that kind of what happened with you?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with me because my coach Kevin from FBA, we were always doing two-hand ball handling and footwork and like jump ropes and stuff. So like my hand speed and my foot speed were always so fast. And so like once the height came, it was like.
And so
good.
You really, Coach Cole's going to kill me for saying this, but the first time I ever saw you play, I said to my buddy, I said, they don't know what to do with this kid yet. They want him to play as a big, but you can tell he has handles. So you're kind of, at the high school level, it's rare that we have a positionless player, right? Because they want to give everyone a position. Okay, in New Mexico, if you're 6'5", you're a big, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, you're not going to get recruited at the next level as a big, quote unquote, big, right? So talk about, at first, was that a difficult adjustment for you to go from, you know, playing as a guard to playing as a big, and now back to just a universal positionless player?
Even like back in like the day, like when I played with FBA, like 4th grade, like I was still like the tallest on their team and like the oldest, so I always had the post moves for their team. And then so like me like coming and playing for like Santa Fe and stuff, it was just like way easier, I feel like, to post up. And then my outside game was like already strong from my 8th grade season, so like my freshman year I feel like I could just.
But that is the easy thing for a coach to do, right, is to throw you in the block and say, all right, give it to the big guy, right?
Yeah.
But obviously that's going to stunt your growth as a player. So you're kind of, you're middle of the season, and then towards the end of the season, I noticed your guys' offense changed a lot to kind of utilize more of your whole game. Talk about that a little bit. Because you're obviously a pretty complete guy. You're not just going to make your money in the post, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, like, oh no.
I mean, the jumper's there.
Yeah.
The off the dribble move is there, right? So, I mean, you'd be. I mean, do you like playing out in the post, or do you like this more complete kind of?
I like this more complete. I like being able to like get my own rebound and just pushing it up the like floor and then be able to like kick it out or something. Like being able to like post up and bring the ball down is just like.
So let's talk about Coach Kevin Frey a little bit. How long have you been working with him, and what kind of hours have you put in since middle school?
Put in like since like 8th grade, since like now.
Sure, yeah. Well, you've been working with him since how long?
4th grade.
Right. So what has he always required of you? I mean, what kind of if you're younger athletes that are watching, you know, obviously there's more to basketball than just basketball practice at Santa Fe High, right? You don't get as good as you are by not putting in the work outside of practice hours. What kind of work are you putting in with him?
Well, we do like a bunch of different stuff. We'll do like jump roping, we'll do hit 2-ball dribbling, and then we'll push out drills, form shooting, moves to the basket, working on like your release and your pivot foot, you know, small things. And even just hanging out with him after the workouts and stuff, because, you know, it's more than basketball. You know, he teaches me a lot.
I saw a video on your Twitter of the vertical you did at Manal there, right? Or the jump you did at Manal. How old were you in that?
I think I was going into my 7th grade year.
Okay, so
that's when I started touching rim.
Yeah, when you were clearing, how high was that box?
It was probably like to like his waist or like a little bit higher.
I pulled a muscle watching that. So I was like, dang, that's insane.
I was like, I don't even know how I did that now. I hurt my knees.
JB White's my guest from Santa Fe High School. We're going to take our first commercial break here, and then we're going to talk about some of his freshman highlights. We'll actually let you look at some of his freshman highlights. Our Albuquerque audience may not have seen enough of this young man, but trust me, you will in the years to come. We'll take a break and come right back.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
back with Santa Fe Demon JB White here. I want to go through some of your freshman highlights, JB. Now, feel free to play commentator a little bit. You can be your own Kevin Harlan and Marv Albert. Take us through some of this.
Oh, yeah. I seen him running down, and I knew I had to get there.
There's a ton of chase down blocks in these highlights, right?
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. We're going off the pick and pop right there. They were lagging off of me.
Full house at Santa Fe.
Yep, that's once I started getting comfortable.
I went to that game. I remember that game.
Yes,
but the defense is what really stood out in this huddle film.
Yeah, I knew he was tall, and I don't know, for some reason I just wanted to get at it.
And with Coach Cole, one thing I noticed about him is if you play defense, he's going to have you out on the floor, right?
Yep, of course.
Because he loves that hard-nosed defense. And there's another one, yeah, another chase down block here.
Oh, yeah, I was pretty sad that they called the goaltend right there.
And I was at this game. You see me sitting at the scores table right there. Actually, I'm there. I had to watch you hit that three like a dagger right in front of me against my beloved Mustangs. Here's another one straight up. A pretty awesome freshman year. And then here's another chase down against El Dorado. And then here's some stuff against Atrisco. Take us through this. Was this the first round playoff game?
Yeah, this is I think this is our first game.
So we did this game, I believe. There's a nice move right there to finish up, to clean up some of the rebounding score.
Oh, yeah, I knew I had to box out there.
This is a tough team in Atrisco, right?
Yeah, Jordan's tough. I didn't want to get him any inside positioning or any post-ups.
So you denied the post-up there.
Yep.
So your freshman year, highlights of that freshman year, what would you say they were?
They were good. I felt like I could improve some stuff, but not bad.
Do you have a game that you kind of go to and say, yeah, that was my best game of the year or best moment?
No, I feel like after every game, I felt like I had like something that I thought I did wrong or something I could have done better. So I don't think there was a game where I felt like, yeah, like that was my game.
So let's go through that playoff game against Atrisco. Now, we met Atrisco, obviously, they go on to win the championship. You guys have them in the first round. You have to travel on the road to their place. What was the mindset going into that? What was the scouting report? What was the game plan that Coach Cole laid out for you guys?
He said we were going to run a 2-3, and we needed to pressure them because they shoot a lot of threes, and they're like an active team, and they like to run and push the ball. So, you know, we really spread out in a 2-3. We tried like getting up, not letting letting Jordan, you know, post up and stuff too, because, you know, he's like strong and tall. So, you know, for me, he told me personally, he said like, I want you to get into Jordan, and he better not have like no post ups on you or no nothing. And every time he gets in, you better push him out. I don't care if you foul out the game or anything. And I said, yes, sir. And so I did the whole game, and, you know, Tonio and, you know, the rest of my teammates, Victor and all of them, you know, they took care of business of closing out and not letting him get as much threes, and it was a pretty close game. You know, I felt like if I didn't foul out, it could have turned out differently.
Now, is that a part of your game that you're definitely going to want to improve on? Is you did spend some time off the floor in foul trouble your freshman year. I think that comes with being a freshman, right? What has Coach said about that? Is that one of the things you're working on? What are you working on this year for your sophomore season?
I'm working on, honestly, being a better teammate, I feel like. Because we have a bunch of new seniors that were playing or juniors that were playing JV last year. So a lot of seniors that are going to be playing varsity this year. So I feel like I've been trying to be a better teammate and get to know them better, because they've all raised up raised up together. So
Sure.
We're all close together. So I feel like once I become a better teammate and we get to get on good terms and stuff, we'll be out perfect. Because I feel like the game and me working hard and my work ethic and everything is there already. Because I'm there for lunch, after school. I feel like we're there. But if we just get there as a team and we're on the same page as there, we'll end up.
So what makes a good teammate? I mean, you're a freshman. You were a freshman, I should say.
Yep.
So who stood out on that team that really was a good teammate, and what did he do that you want to do now? What makes a good teammate?
Oh, Tonio by far. You know, he's a senior this year, but he was a junior last year, and also Diego too. Tony and Diego. Diego graduated, but yeah, Tony, he was not a senior last year, but I don't know, everything he did, he never joked around or talked or anything, and he was just so serious. And from looking at him and seeing everybody else, I don't know, it separates, and Diego, like when I came in, he would never let me work out with anybody but him. Like he was the one who I feel like what I say, like taught me, like I don't know, everything over there, cause like I don't know, he like.
Here's a crazy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Here's a crazy thing that happened to Marlon Cunningham, right? I don't know if you saw the episode with Marlon, but so he starts getting recruited a little bit by UNM, right? And he said some of his teammates in practice would start, when he would miss a shot or two, they'd be like, "Hey, well, come on, Lobo, why are you missing shots? Why are you missing shots?" So he said, you know, when I talked to him, he said he really had to change his. He really had to be more of a leader and be more try to bring everyone together, because when that first commitment or when that first recruiting happened, some of his guys were maybe, you know, they were giving him the business a little bit about missing shots and things like that. And so he thought it was really important for him to bring the team together. Is that what you guys need to do? Do you need that does the team need that out of you?
Yeah, they do. And well, can I go back to what I was saying?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, Diego, is probably like one leaders who like leading me, because like I don't know, he was going through so much last year, and I felt like I'd never seen his parents won one of his games, and like he was just like one of the strongest people I know.
All right. So let's do
it's inspiring, and like I don't know, like I just want to be like him.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, let's do a little district preview now. You're in a district with Albuquerque High, Capital, Manzano, Rio Grande, Sandia, right? Do I have that right?
Yeah.
Because it's pretty confusing now.
Yeah, I'm confused as well.
Football's different than basketball. It's different than volleyball. It really screws us up. So, all right, Capital is obviously right there. You've played them. You know those kids, right?
Yes, sir.
So what's the scouting report there? I mean, how do you guys match up against them?
Right now, their strongest is probably – they got two strongs right now, and I feel like – me and like their other strong card, Seth, I feel like I'd be like a good matchup on him, and I feel like if we played man, like we'd be good. And then Tonio guarding TJ, and so I feel like I don't know. At the end of it all, I feel like we'd beat him. So
Albuquerque High, obviously, a ton of players graduated there.
Yep.
So. And there's no more bigs left, so you're looking forward to
yeah.
those little guards trying to stay in front of you?
Yeah, I feel like we're going to eat that up.
Manzano, they're big graduated, so they're a pretty scrappy defensive team, but again, no bigs, right? Yeah. And then there's Sandia. Now, Sandia's got some length, right, with your Lucas Jordan, Elijah Ferguson, so they've got some length, they've got some size. What do you think about the potential matchup with Sandia?
I don't know. I feel like it's about the same. Every game it's going to be like a fight. Like no team's not good, even if they're like short or like not tall. Like we're not even that tall. I'm like the tallest on my team. So they could say the same about us. Like, oh, they're short and they just have one guy. Like, but no, like I feel like they're all good in every game. We just have to come in like as strong as we can and like as hard as we could.
So, first of all, that district gives us an opportunity to see you maybe 4 times on all those in-town trips. Do you enjoy being in a district with some Albuquerque teams? Because you feel like, all right, I'm going to come down to the city, show these guys what's up.
Yeah, of course I do. I feel like it's great because I know I have a lot of people down here who said they want to like go see my games and visit me and stuff. So like, I think it's really cool. I feel like if I come out here and they come and support, I'd love talking to them after the game and stuff.
Now they just did your measurables, right? And we're talking 6'6", and when the wingspan's up to 6'10", right?
Yes, sir.
So have you started taking a bunch of those pictures with the I can't put my arms out. Oh no, I can. See, yeah, we're good. So have you started taking a lot of those pictures already at Santa Fe?
No, I haven't yet.
The wingspan pictures? No, not yet.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna go to break here, but first we're gonna take us through this dunk here real quick. JB, which one?
Oh yeah, I seen Drew doing it at the UNM Silver versus Cherry game. You know, it didn't come out as nice, but you know, he inspired me to do it. I know I fell asleep and I had a dream about me doing this. So the next day I was like, after school, I'm gonna go work on it. I was like, I'm just gonna work on it. So I went to the gym. I tried it about probably like 100 times. I'm not gonna lie, my knees were hurting, man. I couldn't even walk.
We can edit that out. We can say that was your first time.
No, I'm not. It's all right. I'm not ashamed because you know I've been like working lately, so my knees have been like blown.
Right.
But yeah, and then finally I got it, and I was just so happy. I just kept jumping up. It was exciting.
All right, so that was at the Cherry. After you went to the Cherry Silver game, we're going to take a break. We're going to talk about the Cherry Silver game. We're going to talk about UNM. We're going to talk about Utah, and we're going to look at 2 more dunks. We'll be right back.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
We're back with JB White from Santa Fe High. Let's take a look at 2 more dunks real quick, and then we'll talk about these. Yeah, he's got multiple dunks to choose from. How about that? Here's another one. This one, I think, is this the one in traffic?
Oh, yeah. This is the one up.
Yeah, that one had some sauce on it. That's my favorite one. No doubt, the one in traffic. I mean, because, you know, a lot of guys can dunk in practice,
Yeah.
but that one was in some traffic, man. When did that happen?
That happened about, I would say, like 4 or 3 weeks ago over here at like a showcase.
When was the first time you dunked?
Last year, probably after we stopped doing jump school, after Coach Cole stopped sabotaging us with the jump school. You know,
Yeah.
my knees recovered. You know, that's when I started getting up. So that's why I'm hoping after we're done doing jump school this year, my hops improve.
Hopefully we have some dunks in
Yeah,
the top 10
some better
plays, right?
dunks,
Yeah,
yeah.
because that's when basketball season starts, we love putting together our top 10 plays because we just look for dunks.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's fun. It's, you know, Josh loves doing the football ones. He'll find a 7-yard run where the left tackle had a nice block and he thinks that's great. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
It's
Where's
always
the
nice
dunks?
to see somebody get hit.
Right? So basketball season's better because we have
Yeah.
dunks. All right, let's talk about UNM. UNM, obviously that was the first news, is that Paul Weir really liked you and offered you a possible, we'll go through that. When did he meet? He met you at camp, right?
Yes, sir.
Take us through that.
All right, so I went to the individual camp, and you know I knew a lot of kids were coming from out of state, and I was playing with I think kids from like my age and like I think a year younger or something, but you know I was just demolishing them, and I was just getting fast break dunks and stuff. So they moved me up to play with high schoolers, and I was like, all right, like nice, like I was pretty excited, or like not the high schoolers, should I say like the varsity, you know, more efficient players, and so I was like, all right, like nice. I was like, I want to prove something, you know, that I didn't move up for no reason, and like all the kids were like, oh, like you know, this kid's on our team now, like oh, like another sub, come on. And so I was like, I just thought in my head, like dang, I don't want to be that kid, you know, like they'd think like, oh dang, he was like the worst like sub we had or something. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go as hard as I can, and that's all I can do. So like, I don't know, I just played as hard as I like defense as I could, and I don't know, I just started making like smart plays, not trying doing too much, and like, I don't know, by the time the camp ended, Coach Weir was like, hey, could I talk to you off? And I was just like, yeah, sure. I thought he was going to talk to me, you know, maybe good camp, you know, I like your game. Here's a shirt, you know. I was like, yeah, nice.
Of myself. I'll see you next year.
I was like, nice,
Is that what
okay.
you were expecting? Or
I get in the office, and like, you know, he's just like talking to us. He's like, you have a nice game, you know, I like it. Like, you have a nice jump shot, and like, I feel like it like fit perfect into what we have and stuff. And then like, he offered me, and I was just like, I just couldn't stop smiling. I kept talking to me, and I was just like not paying attention. I was just like, and then like he said something, and I was like, huh? Like, oh, like I don't know. It was just like a surprise. Like after, but like, I think after I went home that day, like I don't know, like it was just different. My mood was different. Like everything I did was different. Like I just felt like.
Well, and that doesn't happen to a lot of guys as a freshman, right? I mean, maybe you would be more prepared to take on that conversation as an upperclassman, but the fact that it happened, was that your first Lobo camp? Mm-hmm. That happened at your first Lobo camp when you were so young. That had to be a pretty amazing moment, right?
Yeah, it was great, and like especially like always like seeing the Lobos and then being here, it's like it was like great. It was a good feeling.
And when Paul Weir likes your game, obviously what Paul Weir's saying is you play defense, because you have to play defense if you play for Paul Weir, and you can get up and run, obviously, because Paul's guys get up and run, and you have to be in shape because Paul's guys are all in shape. So when he says he likes your game, obviously Paul's only recruiting a certain style to New Mexico these days, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's in a pretty aggressive style. So I mean, does your game fit that style, you feel?
Mm-hmm. I feel like it does. Yes, the way they were explaining it and stuff, and like. I was talking to like Paul Weir actually the other day at the Cherry versus Silver game, and you know, he was, you know, really cool, and I don't know, it was nice. It was a good feeling.
So Cherry Silver game, you got to hang out with Terry Armstrong a little bit.
Yeah.
To hang out with a lot of those guys, right? Mm-hmm. You talk to some of the guys like Clay Patterson and Jordan Arroyo that you played with. Some of the local kids. Talk about that whole Cherry Silver game. How was that experience?
Oh, it was great. You know, it was good seeing all the guys out there, you know, dunking, putting up some crazy dunks and stuff, and you know, like the crowd was amazing as well. You know, Terry, he was funny. Like I could tell, you know, I didn't really get to chat with him as much, but you could tell he was a good guy. At the end of I think the game, we went to go play horse and stuff. So yeah, he was funny. Him and his dad, they had jokes. They're hilarious.
What did you think of the overall, the pit experience? I mean, you went to sleep that night. Did you see yourself wearing the Lobo jersey?
I seen myself in there in the Santa Fe High jersey this year, winning state. Hopefully, that's what I see myself in.
That would be a nice first step there at the pit. Now, could you see Paul Weir putting a ton of muscle on you? Because that's the thing that impresses me so much about Weir's guys right now is you look at them and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like these are not the guys that Craig Neal was running out there. These guys are built, they're athletic, they're quick, right? I mean, does he talk to you about player development, muscle development, anything like that? What does he want you to do?
He didn't really talk to me about it, but like when I went to like their camp and they were talking to us around it, the trainer or whoever, like I forgot his name, but like whoever like takes care of them, they have like a plan for them, or like if you're either trying to gain weight or lose weight or like whatever you're trying to like build, I guess, and stuff. They have like food for them in the mornings and there for like they have like a whole like workout plan out for them and stuff, and it was cool. And like Paul Weir's told me too, he just says, just eat as much as you can and stuff. Try to.
And when you're around guys, when you're around a Jaquan Lyles or even a Carlton Bragg or a Drew Drennan, and you're around those guys, are you thinking in your head like, "Holy crap, I got to hit the gym"?
Yeah.
Because those guys are huge.
I'm thinking about it. I'm just like, I just can't wait. I just can't wait till I'm like that.
Now let's talk about Utah a little bit. Now Utah showed an interest. Coach Kristoviak, who I call Coach K, talk about that initial contact. What happened there?
Oh, it was nice. I was at I went down there to try out for XMM Elite, like I think 2 weeks before I went out for the camp, and then I got the offer. And I was out there practicing, and they just said like, "Oh yeah, we seen you out there, and like you have a nice game and stuff. You know, keep working." And I was just like, "Oh, you know, thank you, sir." But I knew they were Pac-12, so I was just like, "Oh, you know, you like my game and stuff." Nice. So I went back home, worked harder, and my grandma told me, she said, "We're gonna go out to a camp out there in like the next week or two, and so like, you know, just be ready." I was like, all right. So I was excited, you know what I mean? So like I just really trained for it, and we got it out there, and I went out to that camp in Colorado. Usually I usually go out there, and I didn't make the top 20 or I think the top 40 like the 2 times I went out there. And so this year, like I was determined, like I was destined to make the top 20.
Well, when one Pac-12 school calls, you know the others are not far away. That's pretty exciting, man.
And then Ryan Silva was saying, Ryan Silva, I think, he was saying how like they were gonna come and stuff. So I was just really prepared. So I just went off that game, and we just said I had a really good game, and they talked to me after, and they were just saying how they liked my game and stuff, just like.
All right, man, we're going to be following closely. Nice. We're already out of time today. Thank you so much for coming to Albuquerque. Hey, if UCLA calls, I got to be the second and third text. You promise?
I promise. Right. I got you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Join us next week on Local Focus.
Later, guys. Yeah.